Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Today we are going to tell you about the most popular and the famous author, and I'm sure you know him because it's Артур Конан Дойл. Of course you know him for his a lot of stories about Sherlock Holmes, yes, and it's make him popular a lot. But today we are going to speak not about Sherlock Holmes. We will speak about another wonderful story. This story is very small and it was written in 1927 and it started to be so popular because a lot of people like this. Firstly, this story was published in newspapers, like some parts, like first, second and the third. And all people waited newspapers every week to read new episodes from this story. And I talk about the Maracot Deep. I have the Russian variant, but I will show you at the end of the video a lot of different coverings, and you know, Russian covering is very wonderful and good. I love this. So I wanted to tell you about what happened in this story. The plot of the story begins in Africa when expedition started to prepare for expedition in the Maracot Deep, but it's not a Maracot Deep, it's like a deep in the ocean where a lot of people don't know what's happened. They don't know about plants, they don't know about underwater world, animals, fish, and so on. Here we have three characters: the professor, the zoologist, and the person who, like a technical person, who created the bathysphere, because our expedition in the underwater world would happen in this bathysphere. The bathysphere, it's like something like this, yes, it's like the mechanical, technical, metallic things where people can be underwater with oxygen, with a lot of good atmosphere, without blood pressure, and so on. And we start the expedition with our main characters when they sat in this bathysphere and started to go down in the underwater world. And they were so happy, they were so excited because they saw a lot of new plants, animals, they can see different colors of water, lights in the water because it was special fish, and so on. They were so excited. But happened some strange things because a big creature was near with them, and our professor didn't know who was that. And our main characters were scared because they started to think they could die. But this big creature was crust ocean, yeah, this one in the covering, and it's just they cut the rope which was helped our bathysphere to come up from the underwater world. But it happened and our bathysphere started to come down, 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 and started on the trench. So it was in the trench, and our people, our main characters, they didn't know what to do. And they started to think of course they could die, because they started to understand about the air in the bathysphere, about the pressure which started to go down on the bathysphere and under the water. And our main character started to, thanks God, started to have a lot of special words to be not so nervous in the situation, because they started to think they have an end of their lives. But strange happened with our characters when some people underwater were just going on the sand and opened the door in the bathysphere and started to help our main characters to survive. And main characters were so surprised, like, people so deep in underwater world, what is going on here? And here I will stop you to tell about the plot, because the story is not so big. It is about 150 pages, and I wanted that you read this book, the story, not the book, and try to understand what happened next after the story about strange people under the water who can breathe there and help our main characters. Also, I can tell you that the story is contained about the deepest and sank town, city, if you want, Atlantis, and we will connect with his history, with his plot, with the people, with the food, with traditions, how people live there, and so on, so on, so on. So this story is very wonderful, it's very interesting, and I wanted to tell you that in this story it's not like just science fiction. It's like a small detective story, it's small mystique, it's small science fiction story, so it's like combination of different genres. And Of course, Arthur Conan Doyle was not Arthur Conan Doyle because he started to think here about some mystic things, about ghosts and so on. And I'm sure if you didn't read this book, you will like this. I really appreciate Arthur Conan Doyle, and I like his stories. I like his imagination about the stories, and I know how good he could write. So I started to read this story like a wonderful idea that I really like this. Yeah, I like this for 4 out of 5. And why I didn't put 5? Because at the end of the story, I have some questions about what is going on, what happened, how it could be. Because the end of this story is like a mystique, and from the first time you can't understand what happened really and exactly. And you have like separate ideas in hand, and you can't put them in one time. And you don't understand what's going on there. And for this, I like Arthur Conan Doyle style, and the end of the story, the lives of these people in underwater world, their thoughts, their meanings, their appreciation of the people who live there, it was really good. If you like underwater world stories, if you like stories about creatures, sea creatures, yes, ocean creatures, I mean, about some plants, about stories like imagination, how people could live under the water, what's going on with them, how they transformed or not transformed by the body, I will recommend you this book, because this book is very interesting. So we like starting to read the story like an usual adventure story about some professors and science people who wanted to do their job. But at the end, we have something wow. It's like a special effect about mystique and science fiction. And I really appreciate Arthur Conan Doyle. And I say you again, I really recommend you to read this. And I'm really interested if you read this book, what do you think about this? Like, do you like this story? Do you have a lot of questions after finishing the story? Or maybe you didn't like this because of some points. I kind of say to you that this story is not like best of the best story about the underwater world and the creatures and the people who live there, but it's not bad. The story was interesting, with a very active and energetic written style, and you didn't want to sleep, or it wasn't boring for you while reading. So that's why I say again, I really recommend this small story, because it's 150 pages and you can spend not a lot of time to read this. And also I wanted to tell you about the mystic thing, yes, because you know that Arthur Conan Doyle at the end of his life started to believe in the ghost and the mystic and some magic and so on. And if you don't like this, maybe the story could not be so good for you, because you can see the beginning is a usual story, the ending is like a mystic and a mystery story. So that's why I believe that after my video you wanted to read this, or if you have read this, just read me a comment. I will really glad to read somebody's stories and somebody's comments about this. Also, my friends, you wanted to see different coverings. Yes, as I told you in the beginning, different coverings of this book. This book was so popular, and a lot of people in different countries published a lot of time this story, because people like to buy this. And you can see different kinds of coverings. I can tell you that our covering in Russia is not so bad. I know that we have another covering in Russia, but I could not find it. Also, I like another coverings from another countries, because they're so atmospheric, and some of them like in not so bright colors, and you can understand how was difficult to be main characters in the story. So this is all I wanted to tell you about this book. I hope you will read this, or you will write me your ideas about this. Also, I wanted to tell you that the Maracot Deep is not so bad story like a lot of people say, because a lot of people say that it is strange, it is stupid, and sometimes you can't understand what happened there. But if you will read with a concentration and with believing in good ideas of Arthur Conan Doyle in the Maracot Deep, you will really like this, and I hope it will happen with you. So thank you for watching my English video. Bye!